Hello and welcome to Modish Tech. This is episode 7 of the series where we are trying to find out what should be our key focus areas for 2024 in terms of SAP BTP. This episode is dedicated to the integration pillar of SAP BTP. We'll start this episode with a recap of what we have covered till now. Then we'll go into explaining why integration is relevant these days. And after which, we'll see what the BTP pillar of integration contains. So, what are the capabilities? What are the building blocks? What are different tools and services we use in this particular pillar? We'll then see what TechEd 2023 had in terms of integration, all the announcements, and then what should be changing in 2024. After which, we'll have some recommendations, how it is impacting our job, and the recommendations in terms of SAP BTP integration announcements. After that, we'll do the upcoming episodes and then how you can be part of the series. So we started this series with series introduction episode where I actually explained why I'm doing this series and what would be the structure of it, what will be the upcoming episodes. If you have not watched that episode, there will be a link on this particular screen which will just appear. You can go and watch it from there. Then we moved to SAP BTP Basics episode, where I actually explained various cloud-related facts. Example, what is cloud? What are different terminologies used in cloud computing world, like software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. I also explained how these landscapes are, the cloud landscapes, which is public, private, or hybrid, and what are hyperscalers. Then I tried to explain SAP BTP with two real-life examples. One was setting up your own startup, and the other one was Indian wedding planning. Then we moved to SAP BTP Basics. We saw the building blocks, different pillars of SAP BTP, and how you can get started. And lastly, we saw TechEd 2023 announcements. We reviewed it, and we saw the platform-specific change, which Joule, with the introduction of Joule, you can see and how it will impact the work we do on a day-to-day basis today. And lastly, we wrapped it up with our recommendations. If you have not watched the episode, the link is displayed on the screen. In the application development episode, we looked at why application development is important and what is the relationship between your company's growth and the innovation which we are doing right now, which is essential. And then we moved to SAP BTP pillar. We talked about the capabilities, environments, the programming languages, runtimes, and all these things, even the framework of the applications, how we build it. Then we moved to SAP TechEd 2023 announcements, and we saw how SAP Build Code would be coming very soon, and it'll change how we develop applications. And lastly, we had some recommendations on the episode specific to the SAP BTP application development pillars. In the episode focused on automation pillar, we actually looked at different capabilities of the automation pillar, like the workflow management, intelligent robotic process automation. We also saw the process monitoring and the stores where we have the pre-built content. If you have not watched that episode, there will be a link on this screen which will pop up. We also had the TechKit 2023 announcements, where we saw how SAP Build Code will be generating the process flows for you. And lastly, we had some recommendations. In the data and analytics episode, we started by explaining why data and analytics is relevant in today's world, especially when enterprises are taking decisions based on their data. Then we moved to SAP BTP Data Analytics pillar, where we briefly touched upon SAP HANA Cloud, the database, SAP Analytics Cloud, your solution for analytics, and Data Sphere, so data warehousing and all the complete business fabric where you can just play around with your data. We also discussed about TechEd 2023 and Data Unleashed 2024 events. And based on that, we also gave you some recommendations. If you have not watched this episode, there will be a link popping up on the screen. So, in the artificial intelligence episode, we talked about AI, how it is affecting each and every industry. We also talked about whether machines can replace humans or not. We had few Gartner stats also. In terms of SAP BTP Artificial Intelligence pillar, we briefly touched upon SAP Business AI, SAP AI Core, and the Launchpad, and lastly, the Translation Hub. We also saw TechEd 2023 announcements and how it is impacting what or how it will impact what we do right now. And then we had some recommendations on top of it. So if you have not watched this episode, the link will be on the screen. When organizations grow, they have the requirement of systems. And these systems, these software components or any solutions, are basically procured from the market, whichever is best and whichever suits their needs. With time, all these systems and the number of these systems grow. And hence, when the digital transformation comes into play, then we need all these systems to talk to each other, because then only we'll get the real picture of the business. Then only you'll know the whole business processes and different things which are running into your organization. So in this place, we need integration which can talk to different systems, or be it the process integrations or data integrations. Maybe just analytics needs can just force you to do some integration so that you have the full picture of the data in your organization. So at that time, the integration comes into play. And without integration, even an application will not run. Reason being, it needs data from somewhere, and that system needs to be connected to the application. So integration is the key to digital transformation, and hence it's the key to innovation. Without integration, innovation will never happen. Because, for example, you can create application, but if it cannot talk to any of the systems, it cannot give you data. So it's just static. It is not giving you any meaningful data. Now, we have already seen how innovation affects organizations. It has positive implications, be it in terms of just getting ahead from the competitors, or even satisfying the stakeholders. So, in the full picture, digital transformation, innovation basically enhances everything, and hence integration being the key is very much relevant in this world. So let's get started with SAP BTP Integration pillar. In this section, I'll talk about the services, the tools, and especially the capabilities of SAP BTP Integration pillar. So when we talk about SAP BTP Integration pillar, it has the capability of integrating SAP or non-SAP systems, whether it is on-premise, cloud, or hybrid. It works in all the landscapes. It has API-led integrations as well as event-based integrations. It can do process integrations and data integrations as well. In terms of scenarios, application to application integration or business to business integration, even business to government, so B2G support is also there. It also gives you some kind of pre-packaged content as well, with just to speed up your development cycle and the project cycle as well. And plus, not to forget, it has the AI powered capabilities as well. So the advisors give you AI based recommendations. So all these capabilities which I talked about is basically achieved by two components of SAP BTP integration pillar. They are at the Business Accelerator Hub, where you have some prepackaged contents. We'll talk about it. And then the SAP Integration Suite. So let's talk about the SAP Business Accelerator Hub. The stat on the screen, all these statistics, the numbers, will tell you why it is called the Accelerator Hub, because it gives you so much of pre-built content that it just speeds up your development and the project cycle. So if you can see, it says 3,400 pre-built integrations, or approximately 4,000 APIs, business events, then connectors to SAP and non-SAP systems. And there are 350 plus end-to-end business processes which come by default out of the box. So you can just use it and you can save time and effort in building it from scratch. That's why it's called the SAP Business Accelerator Hub. Let's now talk about the capabilities of SAP Integration Suite. It has a large number of capabilities which are listed on the screen. So let's talk about it one by one. To actually manage the process integration end to end, you have the cloud integration, you have API management where you can expose your data as API, and then you can manage the whole life cycle of that API. You have advanced event mesh that is required when you have event driven architecture, so it can sense business events and can respond to it. Then you have integration advisors, which you can use while you're doing your integration projects. Trading partner management is equipped with all your B2B scenarios, and you can make use of it. Open connectors basically open all the integration points, even with the third party applications. And then you have the migration assessment, which can help you if you're planning to move from SAP PO to the cloud. So this is a very handy tool which is being used by the customers. So the main two services in terms of SAP BTP integration pillar are SAP BTP Integration Suite and the SAP Event Mesh. It comes in a variant called SAP Advanced Event Mesh as well. But apart from these two, there are various other free services as well. For example, destinations, connectivity, all these help in connecting SAP BTP with the source and target systems. In this section, let's talk about TechEd 2023 and how it will impact people who are working on the SAP BTP integration pillar. So as we already know, TechEd 2023 was all about infusing AI into different SAP pillars, as well as introducing artificial intelligence as a standalone pillar. So for integration suite, again, this is being impacted by two major things. Let's see Joule and the Edge integration cell one by one. So brief recap, Joule is basically the natural language generative AI copilot, which was actually announced during TechEd, although we saw a preview of it before TechEd as well. We've seen Joule doing BTP account related tasks, for example, account activation, account creation, entitlements, user management, and all. We have also seen Joule in success factors where it can do various other tasks which managers had to basically browse the portal and do things. But now with a single chat enabled function, they can do it, even employees can do it. The plan is that this will be embedded in all the SAP's enterprise cloud portfolio. And even in integration suite, we have recently seen previews where Joule is basically doing the integration iFlows. So it would be interesting when this is generally available to see how good or how the generated in iFlows are when we just chat with Joule and we get the iFlows. Edge integration cell was one of the major announcements when it comes to integration during TechEd 2023. So Edge integration cell basically gives you the kind of a hybrid integration runtime, very flexible, where this can be offered as to the customers who are basically reluctant moving towards the cloud for integration, but they actually want to manage it in terms of their maybe within their network. So it basically gives you that runtime where you can manage all your integrations in your managed private landscape. So this is being offered as an optional extension to SAP Integration Suite, and probably it could prove to be a game changer for companies who were not ready to actually move to SAP BTP for the integration suite. So, what's the impact then? What are we doing today, which will change? So, in terms of integration flows, the I flows which we are building, probably that could be made a bit faster with Joule, depending on how we get the results when it's generally available. We'll see that, but that could basically change the development cycle or the project cycle. It'll make it faster. The second one is the adoption of integration suite. So if customers were waiting or they were reluctant to move to cloud, probably with Edge integration cell, they now have the option to adopt it. So these two, I think, are the major impact as compared to what we are doing today. So now let's come to recommendations now. In terms of recommendations, I would say wherever Joule is, so be it in application development or any other pillars, probably we need to look into what is the generated output and how we can enhance it in terms of addition of things, or in terms of tweaking whatever we have received from or whatever that has been generated from Joule. Because I still believe it will not be 100% correct, or it may not give you the 100% project which you can directly go and deploy. Rather, it would give you kind of a skeleton or the basic project that has been set up. You can enhance it, no doubt about it. But then on top of that, you do the project specific or customer specific needs. You just tweak whatever has been generated, and then you move ahead with that and deploy the projects and test it. The second one is if you have customers who were reluctant to move to cloud, probably maybe integration cell would be of interest. So this was integration episode. Now we have come to an end of the series. We have just one episode left where we are going to wrap up all our recommendations into one episode, and probably we are going to speak to some of the experts as well. So stay tuned to the channel and look out for the last episode, which will be coming very soon. If you have watched all the videos, you already know this, but if you're new, you can watch all these videos on my YouTube channel, which is Madish Tech Digital. And you can watch all these episodes. You can browse all other videos which I have done, and hopefully you'll subscribe to it and hit the bell icon, because then only you know when the new video is out. So that's it in the integration episode. I'll see you very soon in the last episode of this series, which is the wrap-up episode, where we are going to wrap up all the recommendations and talk to some of the experts. See you then. Bye.